Good morning and welcome to Smart Business Strategies. I am Anna Wiles, the franchise economist, and today we're going to talk about territory and how it's defined. And to help us understand that is our special guest, Chris Phalen, Vice President at Horsepower Brands. Chris, thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, it's my pleasure, Anna. Thanks for having me on. I'm excited.
I'm excited. And this is such a unique feature of franchising territory. So, Chris, tell us a little bit about yourself and the latest horsepower brand that just got added to your portfolio.
Yes, you're going to need a stopwatch, so let me talk about myself for a few minutes. But Chris Phalen, Vice President of Franchise Development here at Horsepower Brands. We're located in Omaha, Nebraska. I've been with these guys close to about 3 years, and prior to this, zero franchising experience. I thought Jimmy John's and Taco Bell was franchising, so I got to meet with Josh and Zach, and they, one guy had a Mighty Dog shirt on, and they were talking about how they were going to revolutionize franchising and roofing and home service, and I was like, these guys are idiots. This doesn't even make sense. Well, really humbled, 3 years later to kind of see everything that's been built in the portfolio and everything exciting here at Horsepower. But people's always been my passion. I was in contingent staffing prior to this, helping people find better jobs. And before that came from fitness industry, really kind of helping people reach goals and better their lives.
Fantastic. Well, tell us, everybody's on the edge of their seat. What's the latest brand?
Yeah. So our ninth brand in the portfolio is Varsity Zone. So this is our newest HVAC concept. We just launched this last month. So super excited to plan this. When you look at Horsepower, all of our home service brands are what we call needs-based businesses, right? We love to kind of stay in the home service sector. Very fragmented, unsophisticated, a lot of mom and pops. Super excited. When you think of HVAC, this is about as essential as you get as far as a business.
Absolutely. Every building, residential or commercial for that matter, needs an HVAC system. All right. So before we talk any more about Varsity Zone, let's get back to the topic at hand, which is territory. So you did a great job of explaining that Horsepower Brands is a powerhouse when it comes to home services. You have 9. You hear that, audience? 9 different needs-based home services. So explain to the audience, Chris, how Horsepower defines territory, and is it the same for every brand or is it different?
Yeah, so we do it based upon population size, Anna, and it really is the same. It doesn't matter the industry we're in. So we do a territory defined as 200,000 in total population, and we kind of average a 3 territory purchase here at Horsepower when you think of a partnership being able to kind of, grow into a 600,000 market in a lot of the major metros in the U.S.
Yeah.
So the way we define it, and again, from a 30,000 foot view of people kind of looking at franchising and really understanding the dynamics of how would you build out an ideal market, 30,000 foot view, you're going to have, let's use Austin, Texas, you're going to have multiple franchise owners on top of each other. So how do you create the same recipe for success for each individual in that location? So I always use analogies, really bad ones, but let's say Austin's a pie, it's a pizza. How do you give each individual franchisee the same amount of toppings for success to where everyone has the same playing field if you have multiple franchisees on market? So we really look at a few key indicators when building out a territory. One is household incomes inside that territory. Another would be home value. And then the also would be like single family dwelling units to multifamily. How many residential at-bats do you have to get this brand off the ground and accelerate it if you're really focused, residential year 1, year 2? Those are really big key factors that we look at. And all the Horsepower brands work on the same 200,000 in population. So again, it's the same for all of our brands.
And what is the average median household income that y'all look for?
Yep. And so with us primarily staying in home services, when you look from a horsepower level, our sweet spot for income is anywhere from 75 to 100,000. Saying if we're inside those parameters, we know we can get the phone to ring for home service, whether it's a roof, whether it's spray foam, whether it's lawn care, right? And then, you've got more fluent areas. So we'll stick with Austin as our example. You're going to have a lot of income levels that exceed 100,000, which is perfect for us. That means, a lot of money in those areas, a lot of high income. You don't have the do-it-yourself dads. You have a lot more people outsourcing home service, a lot of keeping up with the Joneses type mentalities too. We love that from a home service angle for sure.
All right, very good. And so let me ask a clarifying question. So even though the population and is it the median household income or the average household income?
Average household income.
Average household income is a minimum of 75,000 to 100, somewhere in there.
Yep.
That means, the question is, so the geography, the size of territory can change and be different, even though you're saying it's the same piece of pie or the same ingredients on the slice of pie they get. Is that right?
That's right. Yep. And so when you look at like the socioeconomic demographics that go to build out territories, you're going to have, some gentrification, some fluent areas, right? You kind of want a smorgasbord of all of it. And when you look at you growing and expanding a business, you're going to kind of deem a launch zone inside that territory. And then how can we be logistically efficient to spiderweb and spread the marketing as you continue to grow into further territories over the course of the partnership with Horsepower? Yeah.
Absolutely. So population density factors into it. So that 200,000, like in Atlanta, Georgia, 200,000 is going to be in a much denser area than where I live, which is Augusta, Georgia. And it will be a huge land mass.
Yep. Exactly.
I'm glad that you made that clear. Okay, so now let's talk about what makes Varsity Zone, your newest brand, kind of different or unique within home service franchises.
Yeah, for sure. So we are super excited, like I said, to play in the HVAC space. We, know this is an essential business, but really I keep it high level when I talk to candidates. I don't think, it's every little girl's dream to own a roofing company. And I always joke about that alongside Turp. We have a lot of, female CFOs that end up going with, a roofing concept. And so we make that joke. At the end of the day, it's sales, marketing, and technology at what Horsepower does. So I think it's just the power of all of our shared services under one umbrella, right? So as a business owner that has no industry insight, they can come in, have an airtight playbook where they can execute on that playbook. They're going to love, the ROI and everything that comes around it. So again, I think there's nuances in every home service that we're in, and there's certainly, some what we call differentiators with Varsity Zone when it comes to, more bang for your buck on population. So again, we're talking territory. A lot of our competitors offer 100,000 in total population. Varsity Zone, because it's with Horsepower, offers 200,000, right? So you almost get double the turf for the price of one. And then just our vendors and partners for this one, some real household names, Carrier, which is the Coca-Cola of HVAC, being able to offer those products. They're the number one product in HVAC. So there's little things that we do, but I feel when people come to Omaha, they meet the team. They're so excited about the infrastructure and support on the back end from a Horsepower level to where they leave Omaha feeling as if there's 250 corporate employees in Omaha that need them to be more successful than what they do. That's really what it's about and why I think people move forward with Horsepower.
All right, explain to the audience, Chris, I know what you mean by your 7 shared services, but please elaborate a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so what makes Horsepower unique is we have the 9 home service brands in our.
9 home services, but 7 shared services.
Yeah, but then we have the shared verticals in-house. So we don't have third-party affiliates rely on for marketing, call center, recruitment of your staff, fleet management. We outfit and we wrap the vehicles in Omaha. So all the nuances of like starting a business and what could really cause a headache, we have the solutions in-house. So it's all under one umbrella. So everything's talking to each other from, fleet management to your marketing to everything. It's really a business that you can pull the parameters and see real-time data and make better business decisions because of the transparency of having all those shared verticals that support our franchisees and their businesses on a day-to-day basis under this roof in Omaha, Nebraska.
I think that makes Horsepower brands unique in absolutely all of franchising. That is just fantastic. Okay, Chris, so explain to the audience, what is the role of a Varsity Zone franchisee? I mean, are they up there in the ductwork and that sort of thing?
Yeah, great question. So honestly, all of our franchisees, no one comes from the industry that they pick. So no one with roofing, no one with HVAC. We find people that have been successful in other realms of business that want to become and partner with us and have an airtight playbook to where they're known to be an executor. They're someone that can get it and really run a play That's who we're attracting. Those are the types of franchisees coming in. So we actually prefer no one has any type of industry experience with any of our home service brands.
All right, so let me underscore that. It sounds like not only is no experience necessary, but it's really not wanted. What you're really focusing on are the skill set. Do they have business skills to leverage the sales, the marketing, and the technology that Horsepower brings to each and every one of these brands? Is that right?
That's right. That's spot on. And again, when you see the type of franchisees we're bringing in, it's people that have been successful, whether they were accountants or they were general managers, or they had some sort of sales background in insurance. Right? Those are the types of candidates that are coming in here that we're seeing accelerate out of the gate, just because they've been successful in other realms of business that they can apply and not only make us better, but make the whole ecosystem better long term as well.
Oh, fantastic. All right. So share with the audience maybe the background. Well, you shared the background, but with Varsity Zone, I mean, you just launched last month? Is that what you said? So do you have anybody in the pipeline for being your newest franchisees?
I do. And so this, I think, speaks volumes again to kind of what we're hitting on from an overarching Horsepower perspective. So we signed our first franchisee down in Scottsdale, and he was all in on Horsepower and came from one of our other brands. But then when he understood the opportunity from an HVAC, just as far as in Scottsdale versus the current brand he was evaluating, he was like, it makes more sense for me. But again, he wanted to move forward with Horsepower at the end of the day. It didn't matter the industry. This was just a better fit for him. So we do have franchisee Uno, which we're super excited to get up off the ground in 2024. And then we have our first, what we deem meet the team day. So candidates that you send over here, they're going to go through a development process with myself for about 6 to 8 weeks. And then, the finish line is kind of coming and meeting the team and making sure everything validates that they've heard over the coming weeks. So we have that next Thursday. We got 8 people from across the country. And I think it really shows the type of intellectual capital we bring when people that are going through the same process come and meet each other and really get to pick each other's brains of how they're evaluating these business models. So we're super excited. But yeah, next week will be our first kind of meet the team day in Omaha, Nebraska for Varsity Zone.
Well, congratulations. I know you're super excited about that. And Chris, we are out of time. So if anyone wants to learn more about Varsity Zone or any of the 9 Horsepower brands, what do you suggest they do?
I think they should reach out to you, and I think you've been a good tour guide and bring a lot of tenure. Really listen to candidates who I've spoke to, understanding what they're looking for and really setting them up with the right partners from that side through their evaluation process with you. So definitely reach out to someone that has your level of experience, and that's you, Anna.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Chris. I appreciate that. And thank you for being here. I know the audience really learned a lot about Territory and all of Horsepower brands and what it has to offer. And audience, thank you for watching and listening and being here today. And be sure to come back next week because we have another home services franchise that caters to homeowners needing glass. So you're not going to want to miss it. Anna Wilds, the franchise economist. See you then.